Lab Coat Agents.
What up,
Let's
Facebook?
welcome Markus, known as Captain America in the StreetText world, and Logan, known as Hulk, but we're changing it, dude. You're going to be Wolverine.
Yeah, no, I've been considering changing, but I mean, these plaques aren't cheap, and I already got the Hulk one. So
Well, you see, behind Markus, we see Captain America there. So,
yeah, I'll move mine over.
Dude,
My son Austin, he's 5. He thinks he's Captain America.
that's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
And
Well,
my 3-year-old boy thinks he's Spider-Man. So they have Captain America, Spider-Man wars.
how can you not?
You have to. And then I have Jackson, who's 2 months old, and he doesn't know yet. So we're gonna choose one from him.
Dude, I love that, man. I love that. So while I'm melting here in Austin, you guys have nice weather, but let's get into it. 7 days, 5 listings. Where did this all start from?
Well, Logan, you want to begin? I'll get the presentation ready, and you talk about it.
Well, I mean, realistically, what happens is people come into trial all the time, and it's the people who have actual follow-up. It's the people who don't look at Facebook ads as the net. The way I can put this, I always use a fishing analogy. A lot of people come into this with the misconception that they're going to run a Facebook ad, and just like fishing, the fish are going to jump in their boat. And if they don't jump in their boat, they get a little disillusioned and they start thinking, okay, this doesn't work. And they add the validity to this isn't going to work, right? So you got to look at this differently. Facebook ads are the bait. That's what brings the fish close to the boat. The net that you're going to scoop them up with, that's the follow-up. You have to have appropriate and consistent follow-up. And that's exactly what the whole jest thing is about here. And I'll let Markus kind of talk about exactly what this was. But essentially, we identified a type of verbiage that seemed to work. We've been testing. And this one method has just seemed to work for a large majority of our clients. So I'll let Markus kind of go on and talk about exactly what this script is and everything like that. But first and foremost, I just want to start with that idea is stop thinking your Facebook ads are the net. They are the lure. They're what bring people close. And then influence. It gives you the opportunity to then influence these people. Add them to your database, influence them over time, gain their trust. That's how clients are found.
Yeah, we'll get into the script, but I think you need to have, before you can just simply get 5 listing appointments in 7 days off of Facebook, you need to have an ad that's producing leads to get you those 5 listing appointments, right? So it comes with the understanding of how do you launch ads effectively, and not only understanding the algorithm of Facebook, because it's, 2.3 billion people who spend on average 45 minutes a day. So who's on Facebook? Everybody. Baby boomers, Generation Y, millennials, your clients, your future clients, Logan's mom. Everybody's on Facebook.
Leave my mom out of this.
Yeah,
So at the end of the day, we know we're meant to be there, but how do we get there in a way that it's effectively, tapping into the marketplace? So StreetText has had the unique opportunity to work with Facebook over the last, 5 years. We've ran 60,000 plus ads, generate about 2 million leads. So we have a good understanding. We go to the annual conference with Facebook. We have a good understanding of how to tap into that algorithm. And I think some good credibility. Now, let's get into a little bit. This, I think, will blow your mind, Tristan. So the real estate average out there sits at about 2.9% click to contact.
Okay.
So
Now,
essentially, obviously what that means is 2.9% of every person who clicks on one of your Facebook ads leaves some form of information.
okay, now think of that. So now what we're saying, if your real estate page has a conversion rate above 8.7%, you're beating 90% of your competitors' pages.
That's massive.
Now, StreetText users are averaging a conversion rate, they're used to an average conversion rate of 39.3%, but our current funnel on the seller side, the conversion funnel we're running, has a 67.2%. Actually, I saw that today at 67.5% today. 67.5% today. Okay?
67.5. That's across all the United States and Canada.
Yeah.
That's all users who use this particular template to run this ad. And I mean, it didn't make edits to it, right? People who come in and they bring some of, we essentially think of them as bad habits. They come in and say, okay, well, this is good, but I want to add some exclusions. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to change the picture. I want to do that. That number is going to drop. And that's kind of what we've seen. And that's kind of, we referenced the 60,000 ads is how do we know what's working best? How do you follow the algorithm? How do you track the algorithm, right? The only way to do it is to run more than one ad. So if you run 3 ads, you're likely to find, and it makes subtle little different, changes, you're likely to find what's starting to work. But that's the idea, is we've done this at such scale, making subtle little adjustments over time so we know exactly what targeting methods have been having the most impact.
Yeah, what he's talking about, like, this one template, this one funnel can be ran literally 9 different ways. You can run it as a micro campaign, which is focusing on like a target market. Let's pretend we're targeting Pasadena, California, for example, or, any area. Now, a macro would mean to go into the wider target audience and start thinking about it as a county, start thinking about it as the entire Los Angeles metro area, right? So it's how to tap into that. And then there's different images from within the funnel. But, needless to say, 67.2%, it doesn't matter what you run, you're going to run it quite well. But it's not a matter of if it's going to work, it's when it's going to work. So you can't assume that the first ad that you run is going to reach the right first few hundred people.
This is for one particular ad that you're getting this percentage for. Do you have like a copy of how that looks so that people can see that?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll show that. We'll share that with you. Let me see if I can find one on here. But I think the key is, you guys, before you really do you understand it's not going to be a matter if you can tap into it, and we can set you up. Actually, you can come try out StreetText for free, and we give you as much time as you need to figure out how to tap into that model. But it's how to initiate the relationship with that lead. So I'll actually give you a sample vision, a picture of that shortly, Tristan. I don't think I have it right here on my slide, but I do want to make sure everybody knows it's about the influencer model. Like, top of funnel leads are about creating relationship. And the way that Jessica got 5 listing appointments in 1 week is she initiated a relationship. She came in here understanding that it was about, I can get a lot of contacts, but how do I get those contacts to actually start a conversation with me? That begins with understanding that it is speed to lead, but also that response has to be authentic and that response has to be genuine. Okay? So
I agree, dude. I think part of the challenge, though, that you find in getting leads is that people assume, okay, I got the lead, now this person's going to go buy a home tomorrow. Let's do this. And I think that's the complete wrong approach, which is what you guys preach, which is, hey, look, this is long-term. Let's create a relationship here. And if you approach it that way, you'll have a lot more success with these leads.
It's so funny when you're asking what that actual template that she's running is. I mean, it's so, like, come on, trust me. Like, she's let this one ad run since she's began like 3-4 months ago. And it's amazing. She's done nothing to change this ad. Again, Logan, quickly touch on this idea of why.
Is that the one right there?
This is the one right here.
Dude,
so
send me a snapshot of that one. I want to post it up into Lab Coats later.
It's funny
so simple and it's beautiful.
When you were asking if we could send you a picture, I was going to find it. I was just bringing up a screenshot of another one. The way I was going to reference it is it's boring. It's boring. There's nothing flashy about this. And that's the biggest, 100% though. And that's why it works. Think of it so funny. If it's some polished, real estate focus, has a for sale sign, it looks like an ad. It sounds like an ad. It's an ad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and people don't log on to Facebook to find you, to find a real estate agent, to buy a home, to sell a home. That's not why they're there. So if they're scrolling through their news feed, they're not looking for an ad. If they see something that even remotely resembles an ad, they're gone, right? Something like this, the reason why boring is better is because it's relevant. People use Google Maps every day. They look at their area every day. This to me, if I'm scrolling through and I see some landmarks, some recognizable areas around where I live, what's happening in my area? There's a community event. There's a sinkhole. There's a new, Starbucks going in. I don't care. There's something happening around me and I'm psychologically tuned to investigate. So I stop my scroll, which is the intended purpose of that photo, boring as it is, and I read the ad copy. Someone wanted to buy your home. Okay, well, yeah, I want to know what my value is. Once again, are they saying, hey, I'm ready to sell my home. I want you to come sell my home for me? Absolutely not. They're saying, I have real estate questions and I don't have anybody that I can ask right now to get those answers, right? So you're bringing them close. You're adding them to your database. We'll show you guys how to do other things. I think last time we showed you guys how to build those Facebook lists and stuff, but it's adding to your database.
Let's just quickly just help you understand. So this is the actual funnel she's running out of. It's called the seller property valuation conversion. It's the one that we say 67.5% click to contact ratio. So you can see that there's like 4,300 active users on this funnel right now. There's over 300,000 clicks North America wide, and it's given North America a $2.31 cost per lead, an $18 cost per phone number, and about a $6 email. Okay, now Jess is fun. Okay, Jess is super fun. She hasn't even changed up to her ad, but if she wanted to, and she should, and I'll talk to her about it, like there's a lot of different ways to run this ad. So she ran that generic map image, yet she lives in Oregon, in Bend, Oregon, so she can run it as the map, just like you saw here, or with terrain, which is kind of pulls in this 3D image, right? So there's variations of it that she can run, and then even with the satellite, it gets kind of cool when you actually get super zoomed into that particular area and you start, recognizing landmarks and so forth. It looks really cool when you're doing something like Santa Monica, California, and you look at it, you look at the image there, and you start zooming into the harbor or something. Like, there's a lot of variation.
Yeah, I like that.
You don't just think it's good. Like, there's the generic map that goes out when you start, and you can add terrain depending on the mountains. So you don't just assume that that's the ad that you're going to run. There's variations of it. And what I want to draw everyone's attention to is a big part of this is the first few hundred people reached. So, Facebook says almost the first 15 minutes is the most important piece of the algorithm. And
wow.
Why
is that?
Well, it's going to define, we have some slides. It's going to find that like homeowner. And if it gets tracks on it early on, it'll find more people like that.
There's a little, it's essentially like a turbo boost. It's very, it's not communicated. It's very little known, I guess I'll say. But how can I put this? If your ad doesn't take off in the first 15 minutes, it doesn't mean that it's not going to do well necessarily. It could still do okay. But if it does take off and you see a good cost per click, good relevancy, and good click percentage within the first 15 minutes, it gets attributed to it a engagement boost, an early engagement score, which gets calculated into the rest of the score. There's a number of things that calculate how successful your ad's going to be in Facebook's eyes. It takes into consideration inventory. How many ads you have, similar to like this, how many ads are in the sphere and waiting in the bidding process, so to speak. Everybody knows that Facebook algorithm, it works as like a bidding process. So how many ads does the algorithm have in its inventory right now to show this person? So all of these things are added into the score in a sense, which raises or lowers your algorithm performance. So early engagement is important. If you run an ad and you notice that within the first 15 minutes, you're getting exceptional performance, lock that one in because you're getting a bit of a turbo boost on it as well.
And equally as important, if you're running an ad, which a lot of people do when they start a StreetText trial and it sucks and you spent $5 to $10 and you've got no clicks, turn that off. Turn that explicit off, right? The idea is too many people waste time and money letting Facebook spend it and they haven't found the right algorithm because they could go and find the wrong people initially on and then keep putting that ad in front of the wrong people. So and
that makes a lot of sense, guys.
Check this out. Why Jess has let this continue to run, Tristan, is because now she's got 72 comments on it. So really quickly highlight the importance of tracking your comments every day.
So comments are obviously the lifeblood of Facebook. Facebook, what they're doing in the algorithm is they're starting to move the platform away from being business and more personal. In other words, they're trying to highlight community. So posts that engage the community get raised in the algorithm. So if you're putting something out there that Facebook can predict is going to get more interaction, they will lower your cost per click, raise your relevancy, and put it in front of more people. So one quick and easy way of doing this is making sure you're managing the comment section. And how easy is this? Somebody comments something on my ad. The common thing that we see is somebody quickly messages them and says, hey, I'm going to send you a DM, right? I'm going to send you a quick message, or I'm going to take this away from this post. Worst thing you can do. Best thing you can do is ask them a question, right? So they ask you a question on your post or say anything. The best thing you can do is try to continue that conversation, because if I'm a potential lead and I'm seeing an ad and I see one comment on it, whatever. If I see 73 comments on it, there's something going on here, right? I'm going to quickly scan through those comments. I'm not going to read them all. Of course not. I don't care. But I'm going to quickly scan through those comments, and if they seem somewhat positive, and I see the same person, the original poster, is answering questions, that adds that social proof, enough for me to probably click on and take action. But once again, Facebook's algorithm is seeing the increased communication. That's what they're striving to do, is get this community aspect together. So instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to send you a private message, start that conversation on that thread. One comment turns into 72 comments really quick if you do it properly.
Yeah, I mean, I want to kind of quickly touch on this algorithm idea, right? Because understanding the algorithm is like this. You start off and you're in front of all those people. Now, what we're looking for is Facebook is searching, hey, here's a person that's clicking on it. Here's a person that's clicking on it. Here's a person that's clicking on it. And if you find the wrong person, that could turn into the wrong performance, and you're not getting the traction you want.
That would suck, yeah.
Right? So, but if you find the right person, all of a sudden Facebook goes and searches those people and finds more people like that. So everybody always asks me, like, why don't you guys set the parameters like this with this income and this and that? I'm like, no, you don't do that. Facebook will find it for yourself. It's like, don't put obstacles in front of yourself in the very early on. Facebook will naturally find that homeowner and buyer for you. And this is the best representation to see it, right? And so as we go in, and I'm going to kind of give you the idea of, like, it's so important though, once you get the click to contact, what you have going on the initial response is automations. And so I'm going to give you some examples. Obviously everyone's here to figure out how Jessica got 5 listing appointments, but the idea is they opt in. And if you get an address, there's a couple of scenarios to do. Now, what we're not telling you is, you know, if you're in the US, pull up their tax record, find them on Facebook, drop them a message, as well as drop off the evaluation and send them. And let's massive, like, if you're doing it right with the right script and you're coming across as authentic and genuine, I've seen that turn in all the time with an address only. And we have a phenomenal, you know, letter that we talk about that works. Now you get an email. The email auto is an autoresponder that says I'm on it, right? And you're going to see a couple examples of how Jess addresses this. And then a phone number, we have an SMS that flies off in 3 minutes. Her name's Julie, and she begins the conversation. But it's so important with how you structure that initially to get them to actually start the conversation with you. Okay, now here's the script that she used. You submitted your information for the home valuation on Facebook regarding your property at 123 Main Street. I did the research on the homes that have recently sold in your neighborhood. Without looking at it, I can do my best online guess. And you keep that range wide. But I know I can do better than this. Let's chat. Okay, guys, don't let it be just a text-based HTML autoresponder. I can't emphasize that enough, okay? Here's, you know, a big part of this. Let me just kind of move out of this real quick and get into the example, is if you look at her autoresponder, it's going to be like this. So if I go into, let me get into her account real quick, and I go where she actually goes into her emails and set up her initial autoresponder. It's really easy, but if you look at this, we're gonna be able to track every single email that's sent, including the initial one that's sent out. This first one that says after submission, quick question, she's got about a 55.6% open rate on it.
That's massive.
Yeah, it's really massive. Yeah, wow. Now, yeah, when you look at it, she's done some things to it. So here's her autoresponder. She's got a little check mark and a little emoji. She's got a video. Just want to let you know what I received. Now she's obviously changing it. She's putting, what do you love most about your home? How long have you lived there? Have you done any renovations or updates recently? And what would you consider the best feature of your home? Now, she's super bubbly. Let's look at what she's saying here.
Hi, Jessica McIntyre here with Exit Realty, and I just wanted to personally thank you. I did receive your request from Facebook for a free home valuation, and I wanted to let you know that I'm on it. If there's something, though, that is special or different or spectacular about your home or your property that you think I should know about, please do me a favor and take a moment and respond to this email and let me know. I will get that home valuation out to you shortly, and I look forward to working with you in the future and getting to know you. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.
Right? So I
love that.
Try to say that without a video. They're just gonna be like, I thought this was automated CMA or whatever they think about in their mind. Right? Now,
There's no personality behind it if you
there's
just
no
do it on
personality.
writing.
I mean, you guys, there's lots of ways to do this. Here's another way I really, really love that Marley does, and this is setting you up for the conversation to be had back on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Marley with Elevate Real Estate. I got your request for the home price valuation and I am on it. Oh, and by the way, I left a link to my Facebook profile page below. I'll just be sending you a really quick friend request. Want to make sure you get a chance to meet me. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Right? Now, the beauty behind video is you get to define your process. Like, it could be a number of different ways.
Well, I love that they're super authentic. You know, with the one with Jessica, was that Jessica before this one?
Yeah, that was Jessica.
Okay.
This one's Marley.
Okay, so Jessica, she had, you know, the audio is a little echoey, right? And the video, it's not as bright as this one, but it's like, it feels authentic, right? Like somebody actually picked up the phone and did a quick video specifically for you, wherever they were.
Yes.
We have another one of Donna,
That's
the
real.
one who's converted 150 deals with us in 2.5 years. She's got a video in hers that she's had for forever. She's got a lamp in the background.
Oh, dude, we saw this
Check
last
this one. Check this one out.
Here, it's Donna Swansea with Century 2925. And I just wanted to let you know that I got your request for your home value, and I'm working on that now. If there's anything that you think I need to know specifically about your home that may increase the value, please just respond to this email and let me know. And I look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay, so
Can I tell you guys, the secret to that is that lamp that's staring at me.
it's the lamp.
Yep.
It's completely the lamp. So,
Why is there a lamp in the closet? Wayne's asking. She's an incredibly intelligent person. If you ever speak to her, you realize she's dedicated, she's committed, she's very, very smart. You don't think that she's watched this video and realized it's there. I don't know if she did it on purpose, to be honest with you. But at this point, why change it? Because it's working. And just kind of like you pointed out there, Tristan, it's real. It's raw.
Yeah.
She picked up her phone, she did a quick video, and it's been in her autoresponder for over a year. Why change it?
Dude, you know what? It feels like somebody, and this is where people miss the point. They feel like, oh, well, I don't have the perfect setting. I just can't do it. But that's what makes it real and what makes people respond. Just the spontaneity of it. Look, like, of course, you're going to feel like she just responded to you because there's a freaking lamp behind her.
man, you guys, this is such an amazing opportunity. If you're tapping into the right funnel and you're working under $6 emails, which is average. That's average. You're not average, are you, Tristan? You're not settling for average. So why wouldn't we always be looking to beat that? Why wouldn't we cut that lead cost in half to $5 an email, $4 an email, $3? We've seen as low as $1 emails and lower. So if you're spending $10 a day with Facebook and you're tapped into that type of model, and every single one of those leads gets a chance to meet you, and you get to set the tone, you can set whatever tone you want. Your process could be, hey, my process is the complimentary walkthrough of the home, right? I do a 15-minute complimentary walkthrough instead of giving you a generic guesstimate of your home, and here's why I do it. If you're getting tons of leads, why not play the numbers and work on the relationship and get people that are serious to book with you?
Well, we hear it all the time too. People, when we try to take them down the Facebook path, build those lists on Facebook and build your influence on Facebook, we get it quite frequently. It's like, oh, well, that's uncomfortable. I don't want to add friends that I'm not friends with and blah, 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 blah. You know, aren't they going to think it's weird when I add as a friend? Absolutely not. If you preface it with a video like this, once again, you identify your process, you set expectations, and you deliver on those. I don't care what my call to action was. I don't care what their thoughts were after clicking on my ad, because any misconception is taken care of because I've told them exactly what to expect now. Me personally, not what they thought coming from an ad. They got delivered a video of me explaining what's next. Is it, I'm going to send you a CMA? Okay, great. If that is my process, that's what I'm going to say. If it's not, like Marley's video, it's not, hey, I'm going to send you a CMA. It references it, right? I've received a request and I'm on it. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to find you on Facebook. I've also linked my profile below so you can find me. That's what they're expecting now. They're still hoping to get a CMA, of course, but they're waiting for her friend request. It's not weird when Marley pops up as adding them as a friend. It's, oh, I was expecting this. This is what she said it was going to be.
So, yes. So, actually, Jess got this script that got her 5 listing appointments from Marley. And this is basically what Marley did. Okay, this is Marley's email that is personally sent out. Now, it's a canned email, but she's personally sending out to those leads to address their home value. And she basically is setting it up like this. You submit your information for the home valuation on Facebook regarding the property valuation at fill in the blank in Pembroke Pines. I did the research on the homes that have recently sold in your local neighborhood, and without looking at your home, I'm able to provide you with the internet's best guess at your home value, which is about 265 to 303. But I know I can do better than this. So if you like a figure you can count on that is custom to your home, and only take a 15-minute walkthrough of your home to see the current condition, and I promise no long PowerPoint presentations. Let me know if Wednesday at 6 or Thursday at 9 a.m. works for you.
I love that.
Right? So she's,
in my opinion, it's even more powerful than doing a 15-minute CMA, and doesn't take you anywhere near as much time, because this adds that personal element. It introduces yourself. It also gives them a bit of a range, but explains to them the limitations that exist through a online data, valuation. How can you give them an exact valuation without seeing the property for yourself? And you've explained it in such a way.
Does this email go out like 5 minutes, 10 minutes after the lead comes through, or when does it go out?
Immediately. So that one right there, Tristan, that one has to be done obviously individually, because you're addressing a specific person's home value. That one. Yeah. This one is different. So you look at the way Jess is kind of setting her up for success now, is she's got this after submission quick question that, basically is letting them know that she's received and asking a few questions. Now she's also got a day 3. The day 3 is sending out 72 hours, and a day 10 and 17 and 24 all the way out. Now the day 3 I love, because look at, in this case, it's called, with little heart emoji, home valuation information. Yeah. And if you look at what she's referencing in there, it's, I hope you received my home valuation like what you saw, right? And so she's got her own personal video. Here's her follow-up video in day 3. And this is assuming that she's already controlled what her process is in the first 72 hours. So it's massive when you think of the opportunity.
Hi, Jessica McIntyre here again with Exit Realty. And I just wanted to personally make sure that you did receive that free home valuation that I emailed out to you. If you didn't, do me a favor, please, and check your spam or your trash folders. Sometimes my emails like to hide there first. Also, I just wanted to see if you had any questions about what I sent you, or the numbers that I came up with and how I came up with them. Remember, I'm just here to help. So feel free to reach out to me anytime with any questions, and I will help you out the best that I can. Thank you, and have a lovely day.
Right? Cool. So, she's obviously playing the numbers game. So think of it that way, in terms of if she has a process, like, and Donna, which I know, Tristan, you're trying to coordinate a date to get on a webinar. Her process has never been altered in the last 2.5 years. I'll show you the follow-up video to hers, but you know what she does? She has that generic lamp video that goes out initially. And then what she does is she sends out a CMA using a combination of RPR report and MLS. And she goes over it in her course. She's got her own training. And then 20 minutes later, she sends a follow-up video. And then she sends something in the mail as well. That right there,
that's awesome, dude.
As well as a quarterly check-in, is why she's where she's at today, 150 deals later. Also, why she's there today is because she time blocks for about 3 hours on this every single day.
Is that the lady with the lamp, or no?
That's the lady with that. Also, why she's there today is she's not spending $7 a day, which she first. She started a process, she's defined it. Now she's scaled her budget upwards of $50 to $60 a day. Okay,
which makes a lot of sense, dude. I would be at like $100, $200, $300 a day if I need to, with that much return for my money. There's no end.
So the idea, though, is you don't start with that. You don't come into something new if you don't have your follow-up system in place. Your follow-up is incredibly important. If you don't have appropriate follow-up, it doesn't matter how much money you're spending on Facebook. It doesn't matter if you have 1 million leads. If you don't have good follow-up, you're essentially just throwing things at the wall and hoping for it to stick.
If you don't have good follow-up, you suck, and then you blame
100%.
Like, what the hell?
Which is why one of our best features of StreetText that cause a lot of our clients go long-term is we're like, hey guys, we want you to model your follow-up after our best. Here's a course we created with Donna. It's a teachable course. We usually, you can purchase it for $250, but we actually give it to you if you do one of our longer-term partnerships, because we want to see you succeed. We want to set your expectations up the right way. And she basically says, I refuse to work with anybody and coach them unless they're at least committed to long-term, because my business didn't start. I didn't convert a bunch of deals overnight. It started off a few deals in the first few months. I think in 6 months she had about 10, but she was in a hot market in Fort Worth. And then after a year, went to 44, and she started scaling her budget. And now 2.5 years later, there's 150 deals. And
That's insane, dude.
And she's given me at least 6 examples of sellers that initially sold with her that became buyers and now come in full circle or selling again. Not to mention all the referral business she's getting.
On the back end of what you can see for her emails and her texts, which email gets the most open ratios for her that you see has converted more for her, just on your end, obviously, without seeing which ones have closed?
It's probably, it's actually equal between the initial email that sends out, because that's going to have the highest open rate, because in that moment, remember, when they click on email permission and they go through the funnel, that automatically triggers. They know that they've given email permission and know that's what they're expecting to get the home value addressed. Now, she sends it, and then she sends this 20 minutes later, and it looks like this.
Hi there, this is Donna Swansea with Center 21, Judge 5, checking in to make sure that you received your home value, and to let you know if you have any questions, I'm always here to help. Have a great day. Bye.
Okay, so not only has she sent the home value before, which she actually addresses on, I think it looks something like this, right? Hi, Sarah, research the properties that are active or sold in your neighborhood over the last 90 days. Depending on the condition of your home, it would likely sell between X and X or higher based on upgrades and updates. You have a home in a hot market with nothing for sale like yours right now, and I could end up getting multiple offers over list price. Since prices in the area are so diverse, I'd love to come take a look so I can give you a more accurate value of what I can sell your home for, right? So she has this with her sweet picture, and then 20 minutes later sends that video. Okay, and then also sends a hard copy of this in the mail for them.
I actually love the delayed video, because it will feel, to me as a consumer, it'll feel more real. Like, it didn't just happen instantly. This person actually created this video specifically for me.
Yeah.
See, in my opinion, it's a combination though. Like, think of how important that first communication is. If that first communication is just a typed up email like everybody else sends, what's the likelihood of them opening the second video from you or the second email from you? I feel it's considerably lower.
Okay, that's a good point. But I like that. Who was it? I think it was Jessica, where she said, hey, this is because you inquired on Facebook. And then she said, there's a personal video for me in parentheses.
100%. That's the importance. So if your first one is generic, people know that you're not speaking to them, personally, but it's the speed to lead. The communication has been initiated. They have an opportunity to understand a little bit of who you are personality wise, right? It's done immediately every time without fail. Even if you're on vacation, even if you're sick, your autoresponder never skips a day. These people have an opportunity to meet you immediately while they're in that mindset. Then 2 days later, 3 days later, whatever it is, that next video they get, even if it is canned, like you were saying, seems more natural and personalized. If you can shoot a video where you actually reference their name, of course, I think the impact is much greater, but that
would even be insane, more insane. Yeah.
Which bomb.
Well,
right?
Hey guys, don't neglect the free 99, what we call it. Facebook Messenger, free 99, right? Video.
You're the king of that, dude.
Hey, video, you love that, all right? Like they got rid of the mustache guy. What's up with that, man?
As soon as you showed me where the mustache guy was, it was gone the next day. I was like, am I missing something?
I must have been the one that broke the code.
That was your best one, Marcus.
That was good.
Logan laughs at me. He's like, how are you getting in touch with people? I'm like,
It works though. I can't believe it works, but think outside the box. This is a little bit further off what we're talking about right now, but the one thing, always think outside the box, be different.
And then here's the thing, video, texting, like we forget that we have a phone that we can literally send a video text to. I know I was talking to George and he does like 20 to 30 of those a day. I'm no different. Like if I'm trying to communicate to somebody, it's no different. If you've never met somebody, why not just send a video text? They're going to be like, whoa, I've never seen something like this before. And you cannot be miscommunicated that way, right? Why we do video, Tristan, is because it's 6% of communication, body language, and tonality. Like don't be lost in translation. Don't be lost in translation. Everybody can interpret anything. So Bomb Bomb's all about what? Know, like, and trust. Know, like, and then trust. How do you become a know and like? Well, you have to get your personality in front of somebody. And that's why video is winning for Donna for the last 2.5 years. That's why video is winning for Jess. That's why video is winning for Marley. That's why anybody who's converted a ton of leads with StreetText, they're winning with video, because we can generate leads all day at 67% click to contact ratio, but can you get in front of those authentically, genuinely, and actually start a conversation and relationship with someone, right?
Get them used to seeing you. You have to become a familiar face.
Introduce yourself. Like, here's like Nick's doing it. And, you know, it's me sending video messages back and forth with people. You know, by the way, you have Julie too. It starts a conversation. What Julie is amazing, because they think they're talking to an assistant of yours, even if you're a solo agent.
That makes total sense. I think the familiarity it creates, it's almost along the same lines as being a celebrity or a niche celebrity in an area, because people will be like, oh, it's Markus, got it. Like when you're messaging me through Messenger now, I'm just like, oh, dude, I feel like we've never met, but I like have this affinity towards you. Like I really like you, because you like, now I can see your tonality. You joke a lot. It's fun, and I think people can relate when you keep on doing it.
And 100%. And you know why? Like, it's so important to send that friend request too, Tristan. Like, I so believe that if you want to be someone that's relatable and real, send the friend request. Let them see into your life and be authentic. Like when I do a live post, when I connect with my wife on Facebook and my kids, I want them to see me as somebody that they're like, wow, this person's not just a suit, right? This person is got an incredibly relatable lifestyle. He's got 3 boys, a wife. Like, she makes fun of me all the time out there on Facebook. And, you know, I just want them to see, like, I want them to see every part of me, because I want them to say, this is a person that I actually like and want to connect with. And if you think about it, it's know, like, and then trust. And so all of a sudden, that's how you build your network.
Dude, you just gave me a good idea. And I don't know if anybody out there is doing it, but on one of the intro videos, to even make it more authentic, you could even grab, if you've got your wife with you or son or daughter, and be like, hey, you just got me in between playing with my kids, but wanted to say hello really quick, and just know that we're going to be helping you out, and we'll send you what you need. Something along those lines, but with your son, wife.
Bring little Austin wearing his Captain America suit, and Elijah wearing his Spider-Man, right? And they just all imagine and said, well, this is cool. I want that type of realtor, right? Like, that's the realtor I want.
Yep. And if they don't like you, good. Then you don't have to like them.
That's not the person you want following you anyway.
Exactly.
Right? So, yeah, I mean, automation is your best friend when you actually make the automation relatable, when you make it authentic. And so automation is amazing if you're doing it right. Automation is not amazing if you're keeping it a generic HTML-based automation, unfortunately, as is, until you go in there and actually customize it the way you need it to be. So, you know, we would just want to emphasize a big part of joining the StreetText community is that we're just as passionate as getting your message out there. We believe, like, it's not about just lead generation. It's about the entire solution. And we love working with you guys to figure out what your message is. And everybody's going to have an authentic message and genuine and a superpower that's relatable to them. You got to figure out what it is, but you got to embrace the fact that it's not going to happen without getting into a relationship, without giving you the opportunity of getting face to face. Right? Exactly. And so we know real estate sometimes feels like a roller coaster, but that's why you need to surround yourself with people and mastermind. We got a weekly mastermind every Wednesday. We got training, live training every day. You got to figure out the community that is about lifting you up, and you guys are masterminding on the right ideas. So, you know, I think a big part of this is, like, you know, look at Matthew. We're going to give you guys this letter too after. He's got to get off the fence letter that he's going to list a home tomorrow, and you might have a buyer from it and another funnel, but he got this address back in February 2017. And he sent this get off the fence letter to them. It was an address only, and they landed this listing. So
do you share that in the StreetText Insider?
Yeah, we do.
Can you send that to me too, like the picture of it? And I want to put a picture of that and let everybody know that it's from StreetText and that it works. So send that over to me. That's a perfect post.
We'll get you that one for sure. Yeah, I mean, let me just click on this slide here. I mean, the idea, John came up with this map. It's so important to become the influencer. Like, you know, and I think so much early on, you got to figure out how to influence it, but, you know, be relatable, include life events with your newsletters, like do the email side of it, you know, update reports. The market's always changing. timely listing collections. So the buyer side that we run this, like it's more than just price point, it's price point and in that school district or with swimming pools and amenities. We're here to teach you how to tap into Facebook. Don't just run any sort of buyer ads. It's not going to win. Why don't you touch on this really quickly, Logan?
Yeah, so essentially the way that we look at Facebook ads is it's more top of funnel. Right now, everybody wants the bottom of the funnel stuff. Everybody wants referrals. Everybody wants that lead that you talk to them once and they tell you, hey, come over and sign my contract. And what realtor doesn't want that? But that's the idea is then you're standing in the end zone, so to speak, with your hand up with everybody else. You spend by far the most money to stand there too. So you're spending considerable amounts of money and you have increased competition. Everybody else who can afford to stand there is all standing there with their arms up. Now, how powerful is it if you were to be able to, instead of standing in the end zone with everybody else, spending crazy amounts of money, to spend considerably less, but move yourself up to the beginning of the red zone, right? Go and stand on the 50-yard line and put your hands up. Next thing you know, does that make sense?
No,
you're intercepting passes. You're intercepting all these passes. Now, you're not just going to be able to turn around and spike the ball. You're going to have to work it. You take that, you turn around, and you carry it to the end zone. That is the influencer model.
And guess what, Tristan? The cool thing about Facebook generated leads is they're so often double-sided, because when you look at a seller coming in, like they obviously have to buy, and they're in the earliest stage too. So so many people miss because they lack that trust and rapport and that building relationship. The idea of some people won't talk to you initially because they have no idea where they're going to go. And so that is a big question you need to address and ask early on in that conversation. And on the buyer side, we often we call it the buyer to seller funnel, because our buyer funnel has something like a 25% or higher seller reveal in there too. It's called the buyer seller because they actually tell you they have to sell. So you're getting a buyer who needs to sell before they buy. I mean, it's so, I don't know. I mean, I may be a little biased, but I think Facebook is where it's at. I don't think there's.
Dude, I agree with you too. Everybody's there. I have a question though, and I thought that I saw this slide. So the football slide, if you want to go back to it.
Yeah.
That same slide I saw last time, and who's the giant quarterback? He's like 10 feet tall, and everybody else is like 5 feet and 6 feet. That's all I want to know.
That's Tom Brady.
What the hell happened there?
Tom Brady in his 40s. He's just a giant among men.
Dude,
the photo was taken from the perspective of being behind the quarterback. So, the whole near-far aspect ratio, that's we're closer.
I thought it was like Game of Thrones, the giants, and then you've got like Jon Snow. That's me right there. No.
Love it.
The general idea, though, is once again, the whole idea that we're trying to convey there is that it's scalable. If you're paying, $2,000 to stand in the end zone and get, a pass every so often, I feel it's considerably less scalable than spending maybe $200 standing on the 50-yard line and getting 5 passes that maybe only 3 of them convert, and you have to turn around and work them. So, instead of spending money for finished leads, spend your money on follow-up. Spend your money on a systematic approach to nurture these people. Bring them in early, nurture them until they're ready. It's so much more scalable.
Unfortunately, we live in a society today where everybody wants results immediately, and they're not willing to invest in the relationship, and they're looking for it's so unfortunate. I find that the majority of people that don't end up teaming up with us are people that are so focused on their next transaction that they're not going to be a fit anyways, because they're not really about becoming an influencer of that database and providing value, and be willing to give something away without getting it back initially. So, it's for the go-giver, Tristan. That's what it's really for. Now, we really want to address, like everybody knows Facebook changes are coming. And some people are not aware of it, but they're basically changing things up a little bit coming in the future. And so we'll address that real quick. Do you want to address this, Logan, and what's happening?
So yeah, I'm sure you guys are all aware. Facebook has been making changes already, and they're going to be making a few more changes. But as they are making changes, just realize they're also increasing the power of the algorithm. Facebook is a money-making machine. They're not going to limit the ability for them to make money. In other words, they're not going to limit the ability for you to run ads and do anything like that. Nothing like that. This is in regards to kind of the settlement issues and everything like that. So while they are removing the ability to proactively select your perfect ideal target, retroactively, there's going to be ways for you to tell Facebook how good leads are, and we can get into that. But realistically, just realize that you're going to be set to a minimum of a 15-mile radius. Now, a lot of people who are doing, zip code targeting or doing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mile radiuses are going to be a little bit worried about this. But while they are making it the minimum a little bit larger, they're also increasing its performance. Facebook, and we noticed that on our side too. And that's why we were talking about the micro and macro ads. Micro ads are still performing well, but we're actually finding the people who have a larger target actually get lower cost per click.
So think of it in terms of like, I grew up in Los Gatos. That's a town of 30,000. I'll be able to still target Los Gatos. I'm not going to be targeting those zip codes in Los Gatos, but I'm going to be targeting Los Gatos, right, as a whole. And the macro variation of that is when I start getting into Alameda County, or if someone were to buy your Silicon Valley home. Now I can target Los Gatos, Milpitas, San Jose, Campbell, Saratoga, Santa Cruz. And then my ad dollar goes so much more further because I can lump all those audiences into one, and we can cut our lead costs in half when we run a macro variation of that ad. Makes sense? But even better, Tristan, is if you start finding a lot of people clicking on that ad, Facebook is gonna actually organically tell you where the most clicks are coming from. So if I'm getting a majority of my clicks in that Silicon Valley ad coming from Los Gatos, I know that I'm gonna set up another test separately, just uniquely targeting Los Gatos.
And on that point, as a bit of a hack to that, if you're setting up an ad and you're noticing, once again, we're going to say Silicon Valley, and people are coming through early on consistently from that one zip code, that one area that you don't want, pause the ad, turn that ad off, rebuild it again. You're going to find a new first 500. You're going to find a new audience. Facebook fills boxes, good, negative, neutral. Every time somebody sees your ad, they're categorized as such, good, negative, neutral. If they click on it, they're good. Right? So as Facebook's filling up your good category, let's say it's with leads that you're actually not wanting, Facebook doesn't know that. They think they're doing a good job. So they're going to keep doing that because you haven't rectified that. You have kept that ad going. You pause that ad and launch a brand new one. Facebook starts from scratch. They're starting to then fill that bucket with the people that you are wanting. Great. You keep that ad going. If you're not finding that, keep building a new ad. And then one other thing that's on the slide that we want to quickly touch on is the pixel opt-outs coming early 2020. Now, for any of you who are currently doing retargeting and understand the importance of the pixel, which we all know it's incredibly important, understand that they will have the ability to unsubscribe or remove themselves from your pixel the same ways they're going to be able to unsubscribe from your emails, right? So there is a pixel opt-out coming, which it's not the greatest news. However, it leads us once again to the importance of building lists. So you may not be able to retarget people the same way. You may not be able to rely on Facebook to continuously put you in front of these people, which means, once again, be more proactive. Soon as somebody comes through, you add them to a Facebook list. You now have the ability to do this yourself. You put whatever you want in front of them whenever you choose. That is the importance of those lists.
Yep. So, we know there's a lot to this, guys, and we're so passionate about teaching. I think a big portion of this is you got to be able to invest your time. There's a little bit of a learning curve in the beginning, but which is why you have a community of people. We have a training every single day. We have masterminds every single day, and we love Teachable because we can give you these 1 minute, 2 minute modules that kind of help you dial it in. You don't have to waste money with Facebook to become a guru. You just have to be somebody who logs into your dashboard and works with us, and we're going to teach you what to look for without having to waste more than $5 before you decide if that ad is a good ad or an ad that you need to turn off. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, if you become somebody that understands how to split test and A/B test, then, like I was trying to work with you in Malibu the other day, you need to test Malibu at least 3 different ways, 3 different images, right? There's an art to this, and simply you just don't assume that the first ad that you're running is going to hit Malibu. And plus, Malibu is a different market in itself. Okay, so there's a little bit of an animal that we have to work out of in that one.
That's true.
So you gotta ask yourself: is most of those people probably already have somebody, but you never know.
Correct.
You could have the right person in that house clicking on that ad. But we want to get you a free course. So we're gonna get you the StreetText Academy. Usually it's a couple $100 course. Anybody that goes into StreetText, signs up for a trial, and puts LCA in the coupon area, we'll get that free, okay? So make sure you go to StreetText.com, sign up for the free trial, which, by the way, make sure you understand we initialized the ad at $9 because we benchmarked it over 60,000 ads. You don't have to stay at $9 a day. It's just what we initially go to the market with. So that's the only thing you're spending for in this free trial. And it's 7 days, but sometimes Logan and I give some time, a little bit extra time, because we actually liked you to come to a live training with us first before we actually start the official clock. And we also want to know somebody that is willing to learn. So we want you to get into the course. We want you to get into a one-on-one with one of the success coaches. We want to learn about you and make sure that you're customizing your automations so that you have the best chance of initializing that relationship and getting, the 5 listing appointments in 1 week. That's not doable for everybody, but what is doable is making sure that every single person gets an authentic, genuine opportunity to meet you.
And think of it this way. I mean, what better opportunity than to test your own ads? Let's say that you're one of those people who has done well with Facebook ads and you're just trying to learn a little bit more. Why not test it? Why not build one yourself from your own Facebook ads manager at the same time as you run one from our trial, right? Come in, do exactly what you do, your own best practice. Set that up at the exact same time. Then come to our system and set up one of our pre-populated, templated ones. Let them run for the same length of time against one another and use the information we've gathered over the last bunch of years running this many ads as a litmus test. How does yours stack up next to ours based on our default parameters? And when you come into our trials, don't make edits to the ads right away. I mean, obviously start editing the follow-up, it's fine, but come in and use the defaults as they're meant to be used and watch what happens. You're going to come in and once again, everybody says the same thing. Oh, it's boring. I want to use this image instead. And what happens? Percentages drop, right? Test a few of ours, test some of yours, see which one wins. And if StreetText ads win, great, right? But either way, it's really important to come in, give it a try and test.
Do you guys still have that promo where when we sign up after the 7-day free trial, we get a free lamp?
Yeah,
I'm asking for a friend.
We should start have branded StreetText lamps or something.
Dude, you guys totally should do that.
That's going to be
Act now, you get a free lamp.
Yeah. Are you in the dark with Facebook leads? Turn on the lamp.
Get a free lamp.
I expect you, Tristan, to get on the superhero boat as well. And next time I see you in your office, I want to see the superhero in the background.
Dude, I have to pick one. I like Superman, so I'm DC a little bit, but
I think you're Superman. I think
we already have a Superman here.
You already got the hair. Just get the cape, bro.
Yeah. But the cape's the problem, right? That's what kills all the superheroes. Don't you remember the Incredibles?
Incredibles. Yep, that's a thing. Yep, they all died with the cape. Yep, bad idea.
Guys, StreetText, easy, StreetText.com. The guys there not only are testing out everything, they're super, super genuine, lovable guys. Guys, you guys have been one of the best people to work with, by the way. Easy to work with. You guys are super knowledgeable. It's just fun. You make it fun. And I think that's what the industry is missing, because I call up, customer service sucks, or I'm having a problem over here. It takes like 3 weeks to fix. You guys are on it and you're easygoing. It's like,
hey, here's the thing, bro.
Is it because you're in Canada, damn it?
It has to be. But I think here's the thing. You know how we meet with everybody, Tristan? And this is how I know they're not willing to be a client of mine. Number one, I always make sure, even my automations, by the way, reflect, add me on Facebook and send me a message. So number one, I'm always trying to connect with somebody because I want them to see me as a real person. Number two, we're always trying to book you into a live Zoom conference call. Why? Because we get face-to-face. We get to meet each other, and I get to understand your story and make sure it's a fit. So at the end of the day, it's not some unrelatable customer service like that's in India. We want to know you one-on-one. We want to get to know you.
I think that makes the difference, guys. I could see, now that I've been working with you guys for about 2-3 months, I could see that makes a big difference. Thanks, you guys. 7-day free trial, right? 7 days?
7 days, maybe longer if you need it, depending on.
You can always go like, Markus, come on, dude. I need it for 2 more days.
Hey, the only reason why, if I'm getting you hundreds of leads, 7 days is done. But if I'm working with you to tap into Facebook, then we'll extend some time on that clock.
Yeah, mine went to 8.5 days, so there you go.
So I'll extend it for you.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming, you guys.
Cheers.
Have a good day.